For decades, human-computer interaction was defined by physical parameters. We clicked buttons, learned exact keyboard shortcuts, and pushed around wooden blocks with wheels just to make a cursor move. Even the very first artificial intelligence programs, like ELIZA from the 1960s, operated on rigid rails. You typed a highly constrained phrase, and the machine executed a pre-programmed call and response routine. Now, we've stripped away the menus and the strict syntax. We control our machines simply by issuing free-flowing natural language commands. But replacing exact code with human conversation introduces a major vulnerability: ambiguity. By letting us speak naturally, we gave the machine the freedom to misinterpret our intent. Think of a large language model as a brilliant intern with zero common sense. It functions by calculating the statistical probability of the next word in a sentence. When we treat prompting like casually chatting with a friend, we leave gaps in our instructions. The machine then tries to fill those empty spaces, relying on internal biases and ultimately generating pure hallucinations. To actually control artificial intelligence, you have to master two distinct dialects. You need cold, strict logic for analytical tasks and emotional, highly descriptive poetry for creative media. Text-based prompting is primarily an exercise in restraint. The goal is to suppress the AI's inherent urge to guess your desires or act as an agreeable sycophant. The most effective way to start is by building guardrails. By explicitly stating what not to do, like giving a strict "do not flatter" command, you strip away useless data and force a concise output. For precision, we use few-shot prompting. Providing real-world examples locks the AI into a strict formatting pattern. We format this efficiently using Markdown, a simple syntax of asterisks and hashes. This compresses data, saving space in the model's context window. If a task is too complex, the instructions overflow that context window. The machine starts to forget its parameters, leading to a silent, steady degradation of the output. The ultimate safeguard against this memory loss is prompt chaining. You divide a massive task among multiple, single-focus AI agents. One extracts the data, the next analyzes it, and the final drafts the response. Errors are caught early, rather than cascading through a single massive prompt. The dialect of cold logic is about building structural fences and verification checkpoints. You are forcing a mathematical machine to yield objective facts by giving it absolutely nowhere else to turn. But when we move into generative images and audio, that strict logic fails. You cannot describe a piece of art to a computer using rigid mathematics and data structures. Look at early image generators trying to build a picture of an elephant. They struggled with reality, assembling blurry, dreamlike shapes out of basic noise. As models evolved to output photorealistic imagery, the demand on the user grew. Higher resolution meant the machine had more pixels to fill, making detailed instructions mandatory. If you use the dialect of logic and simply type Santa Monica Boulevard, the machine gives exactly that. Direct, factual descriptions yield bland, random results. To get a specific visual, your prompt must become poetic. You use highly descriptive, atmospheric stage directions, specifying a warm fireplace or the wet sheen of asphalt transitioning into deep dusk. These cinematic adjectives act as filters applied to the machine's latent space. They narrow down millions of statistical possibilities, forcing the model to select only the shapes and colors associated with those specific emotional descriptors. Audio prompting requires the user to act as a composer, defining a sensory mood. Describing a smoky, intimate jazz ballad with a brushed snare drum provides the specific constraints the machine needs to predict a waveform. In the creative realm, overwhelming, precise sensory detail is the primary mechanism for eliminating ambiguity. Whether you are using structural markdown for data or poetic adjectives for an image, the objective is exactly the same: eradicate ambiguity. We have left the era of casual computing behind. Vague, single-sentence commands are obsolete when you are dealing with powerful predictive models. This is the new discipline of computing. It is the continuous management of context, knowing exactly when to apply cold logic to fence the machine in, and when to leverage emotional framing to guide its creativity. Power over AI now rests with those who treat prompting as a rigorous, deliberate, and bilingual discipline.